If you're a vegan or plant-based dieter and you're not losing weight right now, you could be doing this one thing wrong, and sorting this issue out might just get that scale moving. So I'm going to head inside now, put the camera down, get comfortable, strap in, because this could be the thing that breaks you through. Let's get into it. Invisible calories. That's exactly what I want to talk to you about today. What do I mean by this time? What do I mean by invisible calories? Calories that come from foods that perhaps make up such a subtle but regular part of your overall daily diet that it's easy for them to go under the radar. It's easy for you to be quite innocent and mindless about how many calories they actually contribute to your diet. And in your mind, it's just an innocent bit of, well, it's this condiment, or it's a bit of maple syrup, or it's a bit of Starbucks. That's no big deal, right? I have a Starbucks a day. But without knowing it, there's a risk that you're adding 75, 100, 120, 150, 200, 300 calories, who knows, to your overall daily diet. And is that enough to stop weight loss? Well, it absolutely could be in many cases. So we're thinking of our typical culprits for sources of invisible calories as being condiments, sauces, dressings, things that, again, easily go under the radar. You put together a wonderful, healthy salad, and then you guzzle on, without knowing it, a really thick, rich dressing that has suddenly added, like I say, 200 calories to a meal that was otherwise perfect for weight loss, and you were headed straight towards, on that given day, a sensible calorie deficit that was surely going to get the scale moving, and then you guzzle on quite innocently this dressing. And I know in this plant-based space, we always refer to the likes of like oil-based dressings and whatnot, and so that's fairly obvious. I don't even mean that stuff, right? Maybe it's a cashew dressing, which many of my clients have, my creamy ranch dressing, tangy ranch rather dressing that many of my clients enjoy. Healthy vegan mamas, cheese sauces, cashew-based sauces. These are not particularly high-calorie things in the right quantities. They won't ruin your weight loss when managed correctly, but people can be so liberal in their serving sizes with these things that without knowing it, as I say, they've sort of tipped their calorie balance for the day, and maybe they're not in quite the deficit that they thought and hoped they were. It's the bit of maple syrup on the oatmeal, right? Like, I have maple syrup on my oatmeal. There's nothing wrong with that. I have lots of my clients that do a bit of maple syrup, a little bit of brown or coconut sugar on their oatmeal. That's not a problem whatsoever. But it's when you're really mindless with the serving size and you're just guzzling on. As I say, I have maple syrup on my oatmeal, but I'm measured with it. I'm mindful of it. I don't just pour and pour and pour until I feel like it. There's some consciousness. I'm deliberate around it. I'm deliberate in a way that I don't have to be if I just wanted to eat some veggies and hummus or some fresh fruits or these lower calorie density foods. So when it comes to those invisible calories, like I say, we're thinking about condiments, we're thinking about sauces, we're thinking about beverages. And here's your challenge today. Think about this. Are there any foods, beverages included, that you're eating so habitually that you don't even realize, or you wouldn't even think to say that you eat these things regularly? I had a conversation with a client recently, and this might well blow your mind, but this happens more often than you would think. I had a conversation with a client recently who just started with me 1 week into the program, and 1 week in, they said, oh, by the way, Ryan, I totally forgot to tell you, because I didn't even fully appreciate that I did this. But Mondays through Fridays, between working hours, I have a Starbucks, whatever it was, soy latte, pumpkin spice, whatever it was, nonsense. I have that. It's not my personal cup of tea. I have that every single day. And I, of course, jumped onto the Starbucks website and worked out whatever this particular coffee was. And it was contributing perhaps somewhere between 100 and maybe 150, 160 calories to this client's diet without them fully realizing, without them fully recognizing that it was that much of a contribution. And the client was shocked, and I was like, I'm not shocked at all. This is like these coffee places, Starbucks, Costa Coffee in the UK. I mean, it depends what you have, right? We're not talking about a black coffee here. We're talking about coffee with all the works that's largely, even a plant milk, something like oat milk, which is a little bit higher in calories than something like almond milk. And then some of the toppings, right? Or a chai latte. Oh my goodness, they're extremely calorific. Those chai shots are really, really rich indeed. Really, really sweet and rich indeed. Very calorific. And so again, I would ask you, I've digressed from the point slightly, but I would ask you to think about the things that you've actually forgotten that you eat because you have them so habitually, so regularly, they're built into your routine and schedule that you forget you even do these things. The dressings, the sauces. I want you to go in your fridge right now, turn over the salad dressings you're using. Yes, they might well be full of clean ingredients. Maybe you look at some of my recipes for dressings and whatnot. They might be perfectly clean ingredients, but if you actually had to weigh them out, are you using that 2 tablespoons that you thought you were? Or are you accidentally adding a bunch of invisible calories to your daily diet? And that's where your weight loss is struggling. People miss this stuff, but it's the simple things, or the little things rather, that add up. And sadly, for most of us, weight loss is a game of really fine margins. Unless you've got 100 pounds to lose, unless you're hugely active, for most of us, weight loss is a game of fine margins. And so 100, 120 calories, 150 calories, it can sincerely make a big, big difference. And these more calorie-rich beverages, fruit juices, smoothies. Again, I'm a big proponent of smoothies and juices and whatnot. Kombucha, love this stuff. Have lots of my clients do these things, but they are built into their daily diet. They're not an addition. They're not a special extra. They're not the same as something like water, right? I count carbonated water as well. No difference there nutritionally. It's just simply carbonated. Even some of those flavored waters, they're so low calories that I don't really count those either. But beverages that contribute, calories to your daily diet, are you actually thinking about them as a source of calories, or are you just thinking, oh, this is a drink? Again, this might sound really rookie and this might sound really obvious, but I guarantee that 8 in 10 people watching this video, I know my audience well at this stage, 8 in 10 people watching this video are adding calories to their diet that they don't even realize because they're doing it so automatically, so habitually, and it could well be stopping the scale from moving. So I hope this helps you out. Quick tip from me. If you need more help, as always, veganslimandsustain.com. If you're done trying to figure this stuff out by yourself, maybe this video helps, but you're still sick and tired of trying to figure this stuff out by yourself, get in touch with me, fill out the form at veganslimandsustain.com, and I'll be in touch. I'll tell you more about how my Vegan Slim and Sustain program can help you lose 15 to 25 pounds in the next 12 weeks with no calorie counting and simple vegan meals. Speak soon.